Hello, school family. Happy Sunday. Hope you're having a great weekend and you've got a chance to get outside and enjoy this beautiful weather and are ready to start up with another week of online or in-person learning. Before we jump into our work of the week, I want to talk about a little couple logistical things for this week. A reminder that tomorrow is conference day for kindergarten. As we talked about before, kindergarten's progress report works differently than the rest of the older grades, how they have a quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4 report card. We do fall progress reports, and we met then and discussed your students' progress, and then we do one in the spring. So we're going to be doing that tomorrow. If you have not signed up for a conference time yet, please go ahead and do that. I sent the link on Friday and I sent it last week. I will include it again in the email that I'm going to send with this video. So if you haven't done that yet, please go ahead and do it. If tomorrow doesn't work for you, or if you signed up and something comes up tomorrow and you're unable to make it, please just let me know and we could always reschedule a time. It's really important to me that, especially with this year of virtual and in-person and all of the changes that we've been through together, that we have an opportunity to talk about celebrations of how wonderful our children are, to talk about some things we might need to work on, and then be able to have an opportunity to talk about what the rest of our school year holds, because it is quickly coming to an end. So we want to make sure that we're all on the same page with that. Okay, so that's for tomorrow. Unlike other weeks where students have had a day off, normally asynchronous Wednesday goes away. This week, that is not happening. So we are keeping our asynchronous Wednesday. So we have conferences Monday. Students don't have school. Tuesday will be live instruction like always. Wednesday will stay normal asynchronous, where we meet at 9 a.m. for class meeting. And then we do my one-on-one sessions. And then Thursday will be live and Friday will be live like normal. So with the exception of tomorrow, the rest of our week is going to run like normal. Okay? All right, let's jump into our work of the week. This week for shared reading, we're going to start on Tuesday with a text called Hen Hears Gossip. And we all know as adults, gossip is never a good thing. If you can recall back to when we're little and we played the telephone game where you're whispering, by the time the message gets back to the person that's hearing it, it's usually a different message. And that's kind of what this text is based on. Hen hears something and she whispers it to a friend, and then that friend tells this friend, and this friend tells that friend. We're going to talk about all of the things that happen when you maybe do that. And there's some lessons and some morals to learn during the story. So on Tuesday, we're going to ask and answer questions about the details in the text. This is a really good one. And I do think it has a really good lesson and a value to teach our friends as we're reading. On Thursday, we're going to do a classic. You've probably read it before. You probably read it as a child, The Little Red Hen. And we're going to do character setting and major event for that one. So that's going to be on Thursday. And then on Friday, we're going to try a standard we really haven't worked a ton on. It's cause and effect. So if I do this, this is what the outcome may be. If I choose to do that, this is what the outcome may be. And that book is called Team Up to Clean Up. Okay, so it's going to feel like a pretty short week with our learning, but we're going to jam pack a lot of information in there. Okay, so that's for shared reading. For phonics this week, we are moving on to our last vowel. It is going to be long E. Now, parents, what's important to keep in mind with long E is that if you are thinking about word spellings and you're thinking about the sound E in the middle of words, there are very few that have E consonant and sneaky E on the end, or silent E on the end. So we're going to be delving in this week a little more about vowel teams. Now, some of my friends that meet with me, we have talked about vowel teams before, and they should be able to tell you when two vowels go walking. You should have said, the first one does the talking. So a vowel team is when two vowels are side by side, and the first vowel is the one to speak. So if I was thinking about long E, I'm thinking about EE in the middle. I'm thinking about EA in the middle. So let's think about the word meet, like I'm going to meet you outside. MEET. That vowel team comes together. The E and the E, we don't say et. And that's what our friends might try to do when they're sounding it out, because they don't have a strategy for it yet. So this is another one of those grammatical rules that we want to kind of start to build in their brain file, and eventually they're going to just pick up on those skills and be able to do it just as we do when we are reading. Okay, so those vowel teams for this week, we're going to focus on EE and we're going to focus on EA, because both of them say E when the vowel is long. Okay, some of the words we might do a little bit with sneaky E, but the focus is more going to be on those vowel teams. So if you find your students are writing words that have the E sound in the middle, and they're wanting to use sneaky E, that is totally developmentally appropriate because that's the strategy that they've learned thus far. The further we go along in their learning journey, the more those things are going to stick with them, and they're going to remember the different grammatical rules that they need to use for spelling and for reading. Okay, so that's going to be all week in phonics. This week's sight word story is called We Did It. And if you recall, you have those red and white books that are in that bigger open court book, and you just tear them out. My friends that come to school in person, I do have those and have been sending them home. So I hope parents that our students are reading those to you, because I tell them, take this home, read it to mom or dad or grandmom or uncle over and over and over again. And my friends that are staying virtual, you do have these books at home, so go ahead and utilize them, okay? The sight words for We Did It are going to be and she. So that's going to be our focus this week. All right, moving on to math. In math this week, Tuesday, we're going to play a game called Capture Numbers 10 to 20. And between those numbers 10 and 20 are those teen numbers. And my friends know, when we do team numbers, we always do this song. Come on, everybody, let's get this done. Numbers in the teens, they start with a 1. And that's just a good strategy that we want to teach our friends, so that when they're seeing a teen number, they know that it must begin with a 1. We're going to continue to work on that. Teen numbers are not easy. You may notice your friends at home, your students at home, switching the numbers around. Totally developmentally appropriate. Teen numbers are not easy, so we're going to continue to work on that, okay? On Thursday, we're going to play a game called Double Top Draw. And then on Friday, we're going to do another one of those tiered tasks called Recess Time. Now, I wish it was really like recess time and we could just go outside and play. That would be really nice, but that's just what the name of the tiered task is. So if you recall, a tiered task is when we're starting kind of at a level where everybody is. I have some students that'll need to scale back and maybe try something a little bit simpler. And then I have friends that might be ready for a challenge activity. And when we do these activities with our children, I always say to them, it's kind of like a test, because I want to see what they know. I don't want them to be getting the answer from somewhere else. I don't necessarily, for these specific tasks, want to be giving too much help, because then I won't actually be able to see what they're able to produce. So when we're doing these tiered tasks, I ask that our students, when they're working, are doing that completely independently. And whatever they end up doing is totally okay. All right, so that's for math. I think that covers everything. Just a reminder that this is our last week of doing 2 days a week of in-person learning. So my A friends coming on Monday, Tuesday, my B friends coming on Thursday, Friday. That is going to combine starting May 10th, and all of my friends in A and all of my friends in B are all going to be cohort D, and they are all coming to school together. I can't wait. 4 days a week, okay? And then my virtual friends, of course, are going to stay online. They're going to keep rocking out and doing all the wonderful things that they have always done. So no worries there. So that's going to begin next week. So this is our last week of kind of having that divided schedule. However, our schedule is staying exactly the same. Nothing is changing about it. The only difference for my in-person families is that you're going to have your kid out of the house 4 days a week. And I bet you many of you are feeling really good about that. Brings about a lot more normalcy, and I think that's the part that I'm excited the most for. And I really am just excited to see them be able to come together and continue to build the relationships that they've already built online. And then my friends that stay online, we will continue building those relationships just as strong as we ever did. Okay, so I think that is everything. Go out, get some sun. I need to work on my tan. Unfortunately, I have chores to do, so I don't think that's going to happen. So parents, tomorrow I will see you online, and it's always the same Google Meets, K-Walker 6K for your virtual conference, whatever time you signed up for. If you haven't yet, it's not too late. Go ahead and jump on and do that. I will see you tomorrow, whatever time. My friends, enjoy your day off, and I will see everybody logged in or in person on Tuesday. Mwah.